Oi, oi! What's going on?
That's the way that you're sacrificing James for this one.
It's his car, isn't it? Ready? Yeah. Yeah. That didn't it? That sparked really well. Heard all the progression come out.
James himself.
Yeah, I'm back. It's a difficult one when you ain't got a garage. And being a tropical people, I don't function well in this cold. And with the rain and wind, it's not ideal for filming, let alone wrenching. So here's what I'll do. Yep.
Go back inside. Get back inside. Get back inside. Back inside, son. Whatever.
Even my cat isn't keen. I'm not on that. Let's do some bits indoors. Right, kitchen's the next best place, and I've got to make a little something. Check it out. I don't know if you remember this from when I took the head off. I made this little stencil, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that right now. Now you know I like a challenge. This little trinket I'm making could have been bought or something similar, but where's the fun in that? I will take any opportunity to get creative and make a mess. Safety. Nothing like a fine sprinkle of plastic dust on the kitchen floor, eh? Look at that. Off with these cam sprockets, as I forgot a little step on the head rebuild. You can see that video in the top right, alright?
Oh!
I needed to put a layer of sealant on the end caps this side and the distributor side, as I was informed that without, there may be some oil seepage, and we don't want that. And before all that goes back on, there's a few things that need to be nipped in the bud. This is the aircon pump. Took it off the car to keep it clean, and then I noticed seized solid. So you have to take this cover plate off, take the clutch off, take the pulley off, re-lube it all up, slap it back on the motor. Alright. Nut out. Screw this into there. Screw that down, and that should draw this upwards. That's the theory. I guess it's one of those things. The car's been sat for an eternity, and I can't even be mad. The aircon isn't even in commission on this car, but I need that pulley to rotate freely as it can hinder turning the engine over. This tool did the job. It's just a case of getting that large circlip off before the pulley can be drawn off. Fiddly as fuck. Bearing is still fine. The bearing is good, but you can see that corrosion being formed between the pulley and the casing. No bueno. And with the power of editing, we got a clean, spruced up aircon compressor. Whee! That can go back on without a fuss. No bother. Alright under there, mate. Next on the list was a few broken wires. These were stripped back and soldered. Not forgetting some heat shrink to keep it weather tight. A bit of loom tape to keep it tidy. And went a step further just for aesthetics, which you'll see later. Repeated that a fair few times and all. Long process. Hoses removed, and these were all in good nick, thankfully. Just a bit grubby. And you know where I'm going with these. Back to the kitchen. And as I value my life, I took the bigger stuff
outside.
Back in the bay to remove some questionable amp wiring. And take a look at this. It's a snail graveyard up in here. I don't know what attracted them to this.
It's not looking good, bruv.
So out with the inlet manifold. That's also grimy. And also out with the leaves. Believe. Taking the throttle body off and other gubbins. These need work, as you can see. Hang about. Look at them now.
Takers and givers. I've been caught the latter. But am I really a giver? If I don't give to myself, don't take care of my health, care for everyone else. I usually give away my best, but getting to this reset.
That'll do the trick for me.
get into this reset.
Sweet. So with Zosha as my lookout, it's time to start putting stuff back on instead of taking it off. This setup has a stud and nut arrangement rather than your traditional bolt to hold the head down. One benefit is they can be reused, but these need a clean first. Now these are nice and clean, let's go and fit them to the block. They need to be wound in with an assembly lubricant. That ensures I get a consistent tightness without damaging the threads. Taking the time to ensure each and every stud gets a uniform coating. Then it's a case of winding them in, hand tight. Just like that. Before I continue, I made sure the block surface was clean as we want a perfect seal. More lube applied to the top threads. Next. So this is the gasket we're going to be fitting, and it's a 7-layer one. I'll explain the reason why in a second. Let's get this unboxed and fit it to the block. You just try getting it out one-handed, eh? In goes the gasket. Now we chose to go with a 7-layer under advice, as the head had been machined more than once. Without getting techie, the original compression ratio shouldn't be far off. Don't sweat it. One last clean of that head surface before it can get lowered in place. This was a lot easier going in than taking it out, for sure. Happy? The washers and nuts don't escape the lube treatment, and a telescopic magnet came in clutch, preventing me from raging. Then it's the tightening sequence, as per SBD's instruction. First stage, 25 Newton meters. Second stage, 47 Newton meters. And then the third stage, 81 Newton meters. Looking good. Right, let's get serious now. Inlet cam sprocket. Slap it on. Followed by the exhaust cam sprocket. Of course. Torque to spec, obviously. Temporarily need to get this fitted because it's got our timing marks. So let's get that on. Let's get it on. Cleanliness is godliness. We gotta be thorough. And a new cam cover gasket. The old one was brittle and perished. No good. Lowered down carefully. I don't want to mark up that paint. Going to use these stainless bolts to screw down the cam cover. Bit of a upgrade on the originals. Sweet. It's easy enough. And you can see it's coming along. Right, so don't watch this. I've got a ratchet that's being held by the slam panel to keep this timing mark in line with that. Then on this side, you can see it's slightly off with that one. So what I'm going to do, little screwdriver, and lever that, and that'll get us in line. And then you'll see what I'll do next. It's the valve springs keeping the cam in its position, so no harm done here. And you see that little tool I made earlier? Oh, it just slots right in. Snug as a bug in a rug. Cam belt can go back in situ. Check out that video, top right. So now I can get the inlet back on, but I need to put a new gasket in there and hook up to that coolant pipe as well.
New gasket.
Fresh, boy. The inlet manifold can be put back in place. And all the associated hoses and breathers can then be hooked up. Some of it's awkward, but how you feeling the progress? Let's pick up the pace. Our bougie little throttle body can fit snugly with some fresh fastenings. Sorted. Followed by the fuel rail and the injectors. Distributor reunited with the head. Old school heads, you remember this one. You're going to see where I put that in a moment. If you don't like it, I don't care. My mate's a fan of Red Bull and these colours fit in with the theme too. Buttoning this up nicely though, eh? It's mad how much you can get done on a clear day. My bro Clifton popped round for a gander.
It's sick, brother, isn't it?
As I got some new exhaust manifold studs, followed by a gasket, turbo, and new nuts. Those old What's It style ones didn't make the cut and look prone to rounding out, making sure I don't forget those oil feeds and return lines underneath. Airbox slots in, although I want to replace that as it's got a broken tab.
So that's wrong. It actually needs to be that, so the cover can screw onto it. Let me sort that out.
We're only human, I guess. A mistake is only a mistake if you don't learn from it. Just 3 bolts secure this. Fresh auxiliary belt completes that side. Now it's time for the thermostat housing with a new O-ring. Associated pipework and connectors fall into place. Haha, we're trucking along now. I love this stage of a rebuild. It all comes together. In hindsight, I'd have saved some time by labelling every nut and bolt I removed. But you know how it goes. You just crack on with it. I'm excited and also nervous at the prospect of starting this engine. Over 10 years is a long time. I just hope I've done it right and done it justice. Just these last odds and sods to get out of the way before giving it some vital fluids. It's time. Let's drain it off. Took a while, but I'm in no rush. I'm cold, and in this instance, I'll roll with it. Seam, fresh bolt, fresh washer. I was actually flicking the oil out the pan there. Stupid. You can't put fresh oil in without a fresh filter. And once the car's had a few cycles, we'll probably change that oil out again for something better suited. Let's top it off. Lovely. Sweet. Some coolant as well. Can't forget about that. And then our battery. Got to be able to power it.
I'm going to take this relay out so we can turn the car over, build up some oil pressure.
It's not so easy with one hand, I tell ya. Fingers crossed. Let's get it. It sounds promising. Sweet. And then your boy turned up for a goosey gander. Big respect.
Let's get this back in. Let's go and get some fuel in it and give it a first try.
Now, as the tank was bone dry, there was 3 canisters worth in there just to get us going. But she wouldn't fire up. What the f***? Turns out I had the fuel supply and return lines reversed. Quick fix. Let's go. Ah, it's a bit ropey. Quick presser check. Yeah, we're good.
The way that you're sacrificing James for this.
It's his car, isn't it?
And then a check for a strong spark. Then it dawned on me. The dizzy cap, rotor arm and plugs are still the old ones. Bit of an oversight there, but a minor thing to change out. Push fit for the rotor arm and 3 bolts for the cap. Piece of plug leads come up and the plugs themselves unscrewed. Look at the state of this lot. Well overdue a change, wouldn't you say? Yeah. Here's a new plug, like for like, but so fresh and so clean. These need to be gapped, meaning the tip and the electrode need to be a certain distance apart for optimal running. In this case, 0.6mm. This feeler gauge has various thicknesses of metal, allowing you to see what gap you have. So let's see what we're working with. At the moment, we're at 0.75mm. Not a lot, but it can make all the difference. There are tools to set the gap, but I gently push down on the top to close it, as it was so minute. We're at 0.6 with a slight bit of drag on the feeler gauge. Perfect. Let's get them in. Plug leads, followed by the connector. We're all set. Please start. Please start. Just be good to me. Here we go. What a difference that made. Purring like a kitten. Come on. Come on, girl. It'll need to run for a bit and it'll be quieter once the oil has filled the lifters. The light smoke you see there being cleaning products burnt off from the heat generated. Come on. As you can tell, I'm pretty gassed. If that ain't worth a sub, I don't know what is. Still a little bit more to go on this Calibra, but that's giving me the push I need. Let's get it done. I'm Wayne. This is Things on Wheels. Bless up. Quick visuals.